Good morning, Dublin, and welcome back to the ISB show. I'm your host, Sahil, here covering the continued coverage of the UEFA World Cup qualifiers. And guys, I want to get into the matches that happened yesterday. And of course, we're going to start off. Let me just show the groups here of where things stand after the matches. So here is how things stand in this particular group. I'm going to talk about Ireland, Hungary in a second. And then here's where things fall in terms of Bosnia was in action, as well as Austria, Cyprus, San Marino. All those teams were in action there. And finally, of course, England was in action, as well as Serbia. We'll cover all that in this video. I'm going back here, starting off with this, because boy, oh boy, was there an exciting situation with Adam Idah rescuing Ireland with a last-minute goal at the Aviva. I have so much to say about this match. Firstly, I tried to wear a shade of green. This is the only shade of green I actually had. If Ireland continues to perform at this level, they need to get the more proper Irish shade of green. But here's what happened in this match. It was such a thrilling encounter because right off the bat, Hungary started off with 2 goals. And at that point, you're thinking, and I'm sure the Irish fans were thinking as well at that point, this is happening all over again. Another qualification campaign for another tournament that is done before it starts, but 3 major events happened in the second half that changed that. Number 1, Evan Ferguson, the Irish kid that everyone has been talking about, who's no longer really a kid. He's the guy that they need to step up. He gets a goal. And starts the comeback for Ireland. And then, of course, the red card, which I don't know what Salahi was thinking with this play, because it was just a pure retaliation red card. And after that, it was so much pressure from the Irish. You thought, are they going to be able to get the goal that they need? And in the end, Adam Idah gets the goal for the Irish in the last minute. And wow, what relief must have been going through Hallgrimsson and the coaching staff, as well as all the Irish fans out there. And I want to say, Ireland has created some fantastic moments. I think Irish fans, I think you always score at the end. That's what makes watching Ireland games so exciting, is they usually end up scoring at the end. These last-minute goals, they're so Irish. You could call it luck of the Irish or whatever. But I'll tell you why it matters. Everyone will say, okay, this is a win at a game at home, a match at home, that maybe they should have won because it was a home match. But Hungary is a very, very good side. And not only that, but you just take these moments. They can turn and they can change World Cup qualification campaigns. Because at the end of the day, no matter how poorly Ireland played in the first half, the fact that they're going to come out of this match with a little bit of momentum, then Ireland goes to Armenia, while Hungary and Portugal have to play each other in the match in a few days. Ireland, if they're able to pick up a win in Armenia, I know they haven't always had success, but what I'm saying is, if they're able to pick up a win in Armenia, this is not a bad start to a qualification campaign, given where it was heading. So for all the Irish fans out there, should be very, very happy with the way things ended up, because a point is a point, and the way it happened is going to feel more like a win. So, of course, going back to where things stand, exciting stuff to come up here now in the next match as Portugal and Hungary. Portugal has to go away to Hungary. Ireland away to Armenia. All right, moving on to the next group. Here we go. Here's how things look in this particular group after the matches that were played. And look, slowly but surely, Bosnia is coming up with some big victories, 4 wins out of 4, and is slowly risen to the top of the group. Now, Edin Dzeko, of course, is the name that most people out there recognize, but don't count out this team. They got a lot of very, very interesting midfielders. And of course, up front with Dzeko is Demirovic, who, of course, is playing in Germany. So you have up front 2 pretty strong strikers. Granted, Edin Dzeko is not the Dzeko that he used to be, but nevertheless, a very, very strong player and has the ability to score in big moments. But the four behind them are all players who play in top leagues in Europe. So slowly but surely, this Bosnia team is coming up there. And do not count out this team, because the more this continues, the more wins they get based on where things are in this particular group. Austria better be wary, because the matches against each other, that's where this group will probably be won. And the start that Bosnia has made, given the fact that there's a couple other tough teams in this particular group, primarily Romania, who hasn't really performed well, and Cyprus can be a tricky away match. It's hard to get these victories. It's hard to come out this strong to be able to get victories like this. So, Bosnian fans, you got to be very happy given where things are. Okay, finishing it off again, going back to where we are with this particular group, going to the final group that was in play. England, Serbia played against Latvia and Andorra. And of course, I don't think anyone expected anything otherwise, but both teams were victorious. England, of course, I don't know what it is about England and Andorra, but every single time England has played Andorra in the last few months, they have been very dour matches. There's not been much. And Andorra, give credit to Andorra, they found ways to keep England at bay, but England just didn't create a lot of chances in either of these matches. This time they got 2. Last time they got 1. So 1 better. Okay, great. But still, it's been very, very underwhelming performances. But England is going to now go to Serbia in this next match. Again, Serbia, a little bit of an underwhelming performance against Latvia, to be frank, but Dusan Vlahovic scored a pretty nice goal. But now things get interesting, because what England team is going to show up in Serbia? Because this is a tough place to play. Serbia is going to be ready for this particular match. Now we get to see how good is Thomas Tuchel's squad. Will they be able to get this done in Serbia? There's been a lot of talk out there about, okay, England is going to be a shoo-in to get into this World Cup. Serbian fans, I know you have a lot to say about this, and I think that's going to be a fascinating, fascinating match. We will come to you after that match to see how it all pans out. An exciting day of football today. I think the day belongs to the Irish based on their comeback victory at home. I think all the other results were fairly expected across the board, but that was the one I think that Ireland fans can celebrate for the next few days until they get another difficult match for the Irish in Armenia, where I know there's going to be a lot of tense Irish fans. So if you've been enjoying these videos, please subscribe to the channel. We will be back with more from the UEFA World Cup qualifiers, covering this whole week, which has been a fascinating, fantastic week. So everyone out there, keep watching the beautiful game. See y'all very soon.